have Jen Rasmussen from Paradise Nectar Apiaries. Do I have it right? Talking about bees, honey, and fermentation.
Was that when the beetles hit, I had 15 gallons of wasted honey. It was really devastating, and for a while I felt just kind of despair, like, wow, I've lost something really incredible. And then I found two other ways to utilize this product. One being that there is a really quick purification process in which you can go to getting a very clean, pure mead product, which you can do by putting in a freezer or even using a still. You can get something other than the fermented, wasted honey. What I like best to do with honey, and nowadays I don't use the stuff that the beetles ruined, I use the pure, delicious stuff, is mead. So most of you have probably heard about mead. Mead is one of the first alcoholic beverages available. It goes way back to ancient times. In fact, a lot of shamanistic cultures used mead to help them, tap into a higher source. And for me, mead has become a really fantastic gift and something that I've really come to appreciate, because when I first started making it, I didn't drink alcohol. I actually had a really anti-alcohol philosophy, and I really didn't think that it was good for me. And since I have started drinking raw fermented honey that has been aged for 5 months to a year, I've started to realize that it's really the purity of it and the cleansing properties of what it offers, and just the way it makes me feel is quite amazing. And so I am a huge promoter of mead, and it's one of the easiest things to make. All you need is honey, water, and yeast. So when you think about, you've got a 5-gallon jug sitting around at home, sterilize it, get yourself a fermentation lock from the brew store, which is a little rubber stopper and a thing you put inside. It's like a little plastic thing. If you go into the brew store in Hawaii, the guy's fantastic, and you say, I need a fermentation lock and a stopper and a packet of yeast, he'll get you all set up and send you back with what you need. Now, if you get into making it on a more high production scale, then you may want to start using certain things like One Step, which is used for sterilizing jars, and bottles and stuff like that, which is what I use for all of my stuff, just to make sure that it's clean and safe and friendly for everybody. But with the mead, it's the basic ratio, if you wanted to start making a batch today, would be a quart of honey to a gallon of product, and a little bit of yeast to go in it. And if you want to try the adventure of catching wild yeast, you can do that, and you can also avoid the fermentation lock and put a balloon on top, and that works just as well. The balloon blows up, and then it goes down, goes up and down. Now, where you start to run into differences if you start to work with melomels, which is fruit wines. And one of my favorites is jaboticabas. I will use jaboticabas whenever we have them to make a soda or a quick wine type beverage. I don't think we've ever actually been able to age it for it's just too good. But with the jaboticabas, I found that you really want to use a whole lot less honey, because it turns out very sweet. But with it, I mash them all up, put it all in the jug, let it do its fermentation thing, and then after about a month or two, then I will filter it off so that all I'm left is with the juice and not the fruit in it. And then I get a really great, tasty product, and a lot of the tannins kind of go out with the fruit. So far I've been really enjoying working with them. It's something you can do. You can make yourself a quick batch like soda, which is basically, you could make yourself a ginger ale very quickly, which could be, your pint or a quart of honey for your gallon jug, about a cup of ginger juice, and let it ferment for 2 days with a fermentation lock on it. Then you refrigerate it at that point, and when you take it out of the refrigerator after a day or two, you have a carbonated, delicious ginger ale. So there's a lot of different things you can work with in our environment. If you just think about what grows outside your house, I'm sure there's mint, there's all kinds of stuff.
What if you don't put the lock or the balloon thing on? What if you just let it sit there? Wouldn't it just ferment anyway?
It's most likely going to turn to vinegar. So you can make really delicious vinegars using honey and starting it just like a mead, which is something I love to do. But if a lot of times I've had people say, well, I just want to catch wild yeast, it's a gamble. It's a 50-50 chance you're going to end up with mead or vinegar. And either way, you got something great. But if you're going for mead, I really recommend a cuvee yeast, which is, it's in a little blue packet, sold at the brew store for like $1.50 or less, and it, one little packet can do 6 gallons. So it's really worth just using the yeast. And from what I have found, it makes a delicious, dry, finished product. And we actually won an award at the Kona Brew Fest for a 5-month-old mead, which is very young, with the cuvee yeast. And it won Best Traditional Mead. So I love that yeast. I think it's a fantastic product. And yeah, the mead that it makes is really great. I'll get a chance. This is actually not a cuvee yeast, though. This is a Lalvin yeast, which I use. And there's 3 different kinds of that one, and right now I'm kind of experimenting with all of them to see what I like. But this one here is a KV116. 1116. So if you check it out, you'll be able to I recommend experimentation. That's one thing that if any of you ever come to my workshops or hear me talk again, you'll really get to know is that I experiment all the time. And it doesn't matter to me if I lose a batch of mead or 10 hives, as long as I learn something from that experiment. So I've worked with skeps, I've worked with, tall standing wooden boxes, I put bees in lahala mats and bamboo. I've done everything you can imagine just to see what they can do. And I'm always blown away to see that they will survive. No matter where you put them, no matter what you do to them, even if they don't like it and they fly away, the nature of bees is to evolve and to continue to support themselves. And I think as a community and globally, I'd like to see that awareness really step up, that we are no longer needing to be the ones in control. If we just step back and let them do what they know best, they will do it just fine.